So I bought this Hero 4 camera after watching it on James Kilroy's YouTube channel. It seemed it had a great presence to what it was doing. The super clear video, I guess it does 4K video. I don't have a TV that'll display 4K, so I imagine though every little pockmark on your face and hair at a place shows up at that level of resolution. But it's it's made to be foolproof. There aren't a whole lot of active controls that you can use while you're taking a video. It's made to be put on your bike helmet or maybe on your skis or your while you're going down a half pipe on a snowboard or something like that. So I think it can take pictures. It can take perfectly well qualified video under all kinds of very stressful situations. You probably can withstand 20 G's and heat and cold and water, and I mean it's just an amazing little device. But I haven't quite even so I haven't quite figured out how to use it. I'm trying. So I've got this standard video camera right now, and even these standard video cameras are amazing. This facial recognition thing it does, and in any case, that's what I'm using right now, just a regular old camcorder from Amazon. But one of the challenges of the Hero is you got to figure out how to mount it, and it comes with this hermetically sealed case that you can seal the camera in, and I guess you can throw it in down to the Marianas Trench and it won't implode. The problem with that is you don't have any. When it's in the case, the audio doesn't come out. They have a case, which is not a case. It's just a frame that you put it in, so it's not protected, and you can plug it in an external microphone, or else even use the internal microphone for it. But as it turns out, if you try to buy one of those right now, as we stand here on November 1st of 2014, they don't have any in stock. So, and who knows when they're getting them in. So I can't use the Hero 4 for anything that requires sound. So I'm using this here camcorder. Now, one of the interesting things about mounting the Hero 4 is that there are all sorts of mounts, and it's made to be, as I said, put on your helmet, on your bike, on your skis, in your car, on your motorcycle. The box itself, though, I mean, for a guy who wants to, perhaps record himself soldering some surface mount circuit boards, building a Tesla coil, doing a little bit of machining like I'm going to do now. It's slightly more of a challenge. I mean, you can stick it to things and clamp it to things. One of the things I noticed, though, the box itself is one of these, Apple-style boxes that the design of the box must have cost as much as the design of the device itself. Anyway, it's got a mount that was in the box. This is just plastic mount. I guess if you didn't pay attention, you might just throw it out. But the camera has a clip, and it can clip into this here mount. And when you pull the mount out of the box, it even has 4 little rubber feet on it. So I don't really pay attention to boxes, and maybe the instructions say, "Hey, use the box top as a mount for the camera." So I've done that. I've hooked there's a gooseneck that you can hook it to, and you can place this on thing and it's flat. But this is a very light piece of plastic. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mount the piece of plastic on this fairly substantial piece of aluminum, and that should give it some weight. Hey, so just for fun, I think what I'll do is I could just drill 4 holes in here, and I just drill and tap a couple of 10 by 24s or whatever, and just screw it down there. I could try to epoxy it on there, but I don't like the way epoxy sticks to metal. It'll just come off inevitably. So I'll probably drill and tap, but just for grins and so I get some practice videoing and machining, I think what I'll do is I'll just try to put a nice surface on this. We'll see if this works. If it makes it to YouTube, great. If not, hey, who cares? All right, so I'm gonna use one of these. This came from Shars. It uses these square. What does it say here? YI. Well, they're just these square Cermet inserts. And there's 3 of them. I have a Cat 30 or it's an NTMB 30. It's the NTMB parts because it's got this little dinger on the end of it. If it didn't have that, it'd just be Cat 30. You know, it's a half inch nut, and I'll just put that in there. And I don't know if this light's actually helping or not, but I got a little bit of light. But you know, light on aluminum, not sure that that is anything we want to see. Let's see what happens here. Bring this baby down. I've got a, you know, rather than cranking it up and down, I had a little induction motor that I just mounted on the back, and it's, you know, got a little bit of a gear reduction on it, so it's slow. The motor itself didn't have a whole lot of torque. In fact, it really has a hard problem lifting it all the way up to the top. But hey, you know, it was a free motor. It was laying around, so why not? And I use that for the Z-axis on this thing now. So let's see what happens. Right, that's down far enough, and that's tight, and we can just touch that right there and call that 0, and just raise it up a little bit. Get all this stuff out of here. Like I said, it's just going to be a camera mount. So you can find out how far at a tram your head is by doing something like this. You know, and I sped it up toward the end, so it's not uniform. I didn't, you know, this isn't something I'm really that concerned about the finish on, but I can see there's these little ridges here, which, seeing as how it was going left to right, would indicate the head is at a tram tilting a little forward, I believe. This sort of thing, when you get this, well, first of all, it's because I ripped through it pretty fast, but I noticed that between going to the left or going to the right, there was a difference in the depth. So it also means it's tilted a little bit that way. So we'll have to get into tramming it. So this thing is 4 inches square roughly. It's a 32nd less than 4 inches square. It's probably some metric number you guys can figure out. And this guy is 5 inches, as it came from eBay. So if I leave a 1/2 inch on each side, I should have it, right? A 1/2 inch all around from each edge. I should have this thing centered. So why don't I do that? In fact, what I'll do is I'll put a little of this stuff, as we have been taught to do. And just so we know what we're looking at. Alright, so if I come a 1/2 inch from here, should be here, right? Oh, that's a crappy way to do it, eh? Let me try it this way. I can see that. And then this one. Well, that's far from a straight line. These better because I am not trying to reach over. Alright, this guy is 4 inches roughly. That's 5 inches. So if I come in a ½ inch from each side, it should be okay in terms of the way it looks centered. I've marked ½ inch. I got some double-sided sticky tape on there, and that looks like where it's going to go, like that. Alright, now I've got my plastic drill bit. It's not a plastic bit, it's a bit for plastic, and it's a 3/16. I'm going to drill and tap the aluminum for 832. So put this guy in here. Now I'll probably just come in off the edge a 1/4 inch or so. Can I do that without whacking the camera is a question. Always a question. Okay, let's just come in a ½ inch from each side. I scratched the hell out of that. Looking at the DRO with my hand on the coil lever, and thank God this is not a crucial piece of machinery, but hey, live and learn. Now we're learning. Alright, I got the speed turned way down. I don't know if I even need to go lower, but let's try it. Through. I believe we are through. Yep. Alright. Now let's go down this side, which would be the 3.5. Okay. How does that look? That more or less looks like we're there. Okay. And now light interfering with my camera. Well, production has got to improve here, doesn't it? sighting it in using the DRO, and speed on that. So I'm going to try to power tap on this mill, which is always an interesting experience. I've been about 90% successful with it. And I've been using this thing, which is a floating tapping head. It's a Sandvik, and it's for a Cat 30 taper, which I've got in my mill. Now, I just want to show you this is the difference between a Cat 30 and an NMTB 30. So the Cat 30 doesn't have that additional little dinger on the end there. It's still 1/2 by 13, same thread, but it's shorter. And I think this is more commonly found, this Cat 30 in CNC applications. So I've got to use a different drawbar because clearly I have an extra 5/8 of an inch here on the NNTB that I don't have here, so the drawbar is going to be different. So this drawbar is actually for a Tormach, and I cut it down and rethreaded it, and this is what I'm going to use to mount the Cat 30 tap. And actually, if we just compare, here's the drawbar. Let me get a better angle on this for you. So here's the drawbar that comes with the mill that I've got. It's for NMTB 30, and this is a Tormach mill drawbar. So it's got this large large end here, same nut, same thread on the end, but it's substantially longer. If we forget about the nut for a minute, we can see that you got about an inch difference in the length of these things. Okay, so let's get this thing down so you can see it. And I've got an 8 by 32 tap in here. So this thing is not at all like a Tapmatic or one of those automatic tappers that you put on a drill press. It just simply floats. So it's made for a CNC. So what I've got to do is slow the thing down to the point where we've got a nice slow put this in a lower gear. Running the motor at a higher speed. There we go. That looks about interesting to me. Now what it will do is it'll float, oh good, 5/8 of an inch or so, half an inch. And so I'll turn this on, and then when I get to the appropriate depth, I'll reverse it. This is a gun tap on here, so it should be strong enough. I have broken taps with this in aluminum of all things. Let's give this a try. And the challenge is because this is not one of these Bridgeport lathes or Bridgeport mills that has a different type of quill on it. This guy, I've got to manually pull that down and then let it come back up, and I've got to watch that I don't pass this travel, because if I do, it's going to put undue stress on the tap. I've actually broken taps on the way out with this, which is kind of interesting. Now these holes are drilled all the way through, so chip-wise I should be a lot better off. Let's see what happens. Moving forward, here we go. And I'm just trying to keep it so that there's no stress put on it, only rotation, no upward pull, only rotation, and we're out. Hey, 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 we did one. Let's see if we can do the other ones. Get this to the point on the DRO that it needs to be at. Okay. Thank God for DROs. All right, here we go. Let's make sure we're in forward. Okay, going down. Okay, that looks good, right? Okay, let's bring it up. And we're out. Alright, I'll catch this one over here. As we crank away with manual speed. And just make sure that I still have this on camera. I do. Okay, I don't think I need this juice, but I'm using it anyway. Forward, go. That looks about good, eh? Okay, reverse. Keeping it so I'm not putting too much upward pressure at all on it. I want it to just unscrew itself. And we're out. Back to forward, back to stop. And now let's just catch the last one. Okay, we're at the spot. Forward. And let us go. The chips are actually coming out the bottom, which is nice when you've got a through hole like this. Otherwise I would be a lot more panicky about how deep I let this thing go. And we're out. Back to forward. Turn that off. Okay, so there it is. It's just a piece of metal with the box. Oh, bracket. The bracket that was in the box, I guess you're meant to throw it away. Mounted to a nice piece of aluminum. I don't know, it looks like it's 1/3 of an inch by 5 by 5. And then you can take the, I'm using this, oh, this is a gooseneck. So, you know, it can be bent in all kinds of different directions. You could really use anything. Actually, you could probably just take the camera itself and pop it on here, and then you can put it places. You know, it'll stay pretty firm. In fact, you know, I could probably drill and tap some holes in there and put a clamp on the bottom, and you know, otherwise it's, you know, it's going to stay where you put it. Or take it off of there and put it back on its little gooseneck, and put the gooseneck back into there, and now it's ready to be held. It's got some weight to it now, so I guess if you're doing a Let's see if you can see that. Doing a selfie. Well, I'm not doing one now. But, oh well, that's something to do on a Saturday afternoon, right? Got to build something every day. I'm Joe. See you later.